guys, it's AmythicalDragyn here with a first video for the channel. I'm finally back. I'm doing videos again. New channel, new me. Same long hair though, same derpy me. It's all good. But today I'm going to be talking about my travel experience in general, because I think this channel is going to be a little bit of a mix of different things and such. So this is going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to start general experience. I'm going to talk about the places I've been, how I feel about modes of transportation, so flying, driving, train, bus, those kinds of things, which is my favorite, which is my least favorite, and then the experience that I got the most out of, and just talking about like different cultural differences and things like that, because I've been to lots of different parts of the world except for the Far East, so I guess I have some experience to talk about. Let's get into it. So places I've been to. Now, I have been traveling on my own since 2015, so a good 4 years now. And the first place I went to was the States, so nothing that exciting considering I'm wrong side, Canadian. So nothing crazy, but it was crazy for me because I've never traveled alone before, and it was the first time I flew on a plane by myself, which was an experience on its own. I still get anxiety flying alone, but I've got ways to manage it now, so yay for that. That will be a video for sure in the near future. But so I was in the States in 2015. I went down to California. I stayed in the area near Sacramento and stayed there for a little while with my good friend Patrick, who some of you guys know, and stayed with him. I got to meet some other friends of mine like Daryl, aka Spamwaits, and stuff like that. And then Patrick's girlfriend Marie flew over from Chicago when they were living separately. My gosh, it's been a few years. And we drove down to LA for VidCon. So that was the first time I traveled alone, and I was in California for 2 weeks, and I got to see a lot of California if you think about it. So it was really cool. Other places I've been to though. I've been to more places than that. I've been to California. I've been to Oregon. I've been to Indiana in the States. I've been to Virginia Beach. That's all of America that I've been to basically. I've been to other airports, but that doesn't count. Well, I guess it could count. I've been to Chicago Airport, Chicago O'Hare, which is a great airport, love it. I've been to New York. I've been to LaGuardia Airport, again, not an airport I like. Where else? I've been to Seattle Airport as well. That's about it for airports in the States, so I haven't been to a lot of places in the States, but I have traveled, literally, by plane, all down the west coast of North America, all the way down to Mexico, actually, was the next place I went to, which is Puerto Vallarta, so I got to see all of the west coast of America that way, and thanks to my trip to Virginia Beach, I flew all the way down to Florida, and I basically got to see the entire east coast of North America, from St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada, all the way down to Florida. So that was really cool. So I've seen the coast of America. The central parts, the central bits, not so much, but maybe one day. So I've been to Mexico. I was at Puerto Vallarta, stayed in Nuevo Vallarta, which is they're not far away from each other. And they're in two different provinces, Jalisco, and I don't remember the other one. Jalisco and Nayarit. There you go. Very Spanish. I was in Mexico to volunteer there, stayed with my cousins and a bed and breakfast, and we traveled all over. We got to see Sayulita, which is a cute little, very market coastal town where there's lots of beaches and lots of markets and places to go shopping at. Then I also got to go up to San Sebastian, and I did a tour up there because it's one of the most oldest settlements in that part of Mexico. Really cool, definitely worth the experience, and I'll talk about more in a video coming soon. So I've been to Mexico, been to America, in Canada, basically have seen all of Canada by plane. By plane. I've been to British Columbia because that's my next door neighbor. I've been all over Alberta because I lived there my entire life until recently. And I've been to Saskatchewan, and I've been all over Saskatchewan too. So I've covered the west coast of Canada pretty good. The up the north part, not so much. And basically between Saskatchewan and Toronto, not at all. And from Toronto onwards, not at all. So I still got lots to explore, so that's exciting. This YouTube channel will be on for a long time. Now, I moved to England, UK, United Kingdom. Oh god, like a year ago, just over a year ago. And I've been over here for a year, and in that year alone, I've got to go all over the United Kingdom, so England, Scotland. I have not been to Wales yet, so that will be a future thing. And I've been all over Ireland now, thanks to this past summer. But throughout the year that I've been here, I've been to Belgium, I've been to Germany, I've been to Spain, Belgium, Germany, Spain, yeah, Ireland, and UK. So I've gone around quite a bit. And it was a wonderful time, actually. I will go into it far more. It was really good. Now, I've been to all those places, so I didn't really go in chronological order, but that's okay. That's fine. Chronology is something else, so who cares? But yeah, that's where I've been. That's all the places I've been to, and I've got some places that I want to go to still, and hopefully, knock on wood, I can get to this year. So I want to get to Wales. I want to go to Cardiff for sure. Where else this year do I got planned? I got trip planned for Italy, Greece, France, and then cities across Europe. So I guess it'd be Amsterdam, Copenhagen, Warsaw, Vienna. So kind of going around the loop across Europe. So those are some trips I've got planned for this year, and I'm very excited for. Super excited for. Now, I actually had a good question asked by my good friend Spam. He was wondering how I chose to go to these places, or why am I choosing to go to these places. A lot of it is curiosity. Honestly, curiosity guides me wherever I go. Plus, I'm someone who gets motivated through history. So, whether it was from school, or from reading, or from personal research, or even from fiction or literature, that's usually what guides me and why I want to go to places. So, for example, I went to Spain because my minor and my second language is Spanish, and my minor was Spanish, so I can teach it. So I wanted to go to Spain because of that very personal connection. I spent years learning about the culture and learning how the language kind of originated. And then I got to go there and see like the history and the culture of it like in person, and I loved it. Brussels was a random thing. I'm not gonna lie, Belgium was random. It was my October half-term break over here in the UK. Everyone, literally all of my colleagues were traveling, and I was like, I should try to go somewhere. Where can I go that's relatively cheap and something kind of close by? I ended up picking Brussels. So that one was a random kind of picking out of my hat, and I was like, let's go. So history and culture usually guides me. Curiosity in that regards as well. When I went all over the UK, so when I went up through Scotland and Northern Ireland, that was more for personal reasons. My grandma came over from Canada, and we went all over the place because she was doing a lot of family history stuff. And so I wanted to kind of see that. I wanted to see the origin of like my grandpa's family, because my grandpa hasn't been with us since I was like 4 years old. So it was really cool because we ended up tracing that heritage all the way back up to 1735 through our experiences in like Edinburgh, Glasgow. Where else did we go? Edinburgh, Glasgow, Belfast, all over Northern Ireland, Trillick, Dublin, and Cork. We got to see that history and like read through the documents, and my grandma was getting a little frustrated, but that's fine because we can only go so far before the records are just gone. So that one was a personal experience for me. But most of the time it's just curiosity, and just because like I hear good things about the cities. Living in Europe now, well, I can't, it's contentious. Ask me about Europe after October 31st. But living in the United Kingdom, I have colleagues that are from all over Europe, and so they always mention, you should try going here, you should go check out this place, and blah blah blah. So that's why I want to go to Amsterdam. The 4 cities I listed, Amsterdam, Copenhagen, Warsaw, and Vienna, is because they say amazing things about all those places, and some of it is also historical. So Warsaw, Poland, is because of history in World War I, World War II. Amsterdam, Copenhagen is just because of the beauty of the cities. I see images of those cities all the time, and my colleagues have said that it's a beautiful place to go. So I definitely want to go to those two cities from that reason. Vienna is because of history. I was so interested in like hearing about the Habsburg family and like World War I, World War II, like historical context, and going to the countries where these things happened and actually reading that personal perspective of their history is fascinating to me. I had that experience in Germany when I went to Berlin, and it got me. It hits you. But it was an amazing experience, and I think I have no regrets. None at all. So those are the reasons why I choose to travel. Mexico's a volunteering experience, but also to kind of keep learning the language and learning the culture as well. So it was a combination of personal and giving back, I guess. Yeah, that is that. I had a couple of questions now, so I'm going to jump to those. Da 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 da. Sorry, I like the music that we got here. Alright. My friend Anna on Discord, she asked, what's one of your favorite places that you visited, and where are you hoping to go next? So one of my favorite places that I visited was Barcelona, actually, in Spain. Barcelona was beautiful, and I had a really good experience in Barcelona because it was a beautiful place. It's easy to get around. The food was fantastic. The people were very friendly. But the best experience that I ever did there was I went up on a cable car up this like mountain basically, and on the top of the mountain was a castle, and the castle overlooks the ocean between like Spain and Europe. And that was stunning for me. It was beautiful. Another place that I got to do something kind of similar-ish was Berlin. And in Berlin, I got to go up on the world's largest helium balloon, so it's attached by a steel cable. And I got to go up 1,500 meters in the air and look over all of Berlin. And that was beautiful. So those are my two places that I've absolutely loved. But again, I don't have anything to say negatively about the other places either. So, yeah, Granada, maybe a little bit, but I'll get into a video about that later. Okay, so that was that question. And, where I plan on going to next. Where do I plan on going to next? In October half-term break, I plan on going up to Birmingham in the UK because I have not been yet. I've seen it, but I haven't been. And I want to go to Stratford-upon-Avon for Shakespeare. That's the only reason, Shakespeare. So again, culture, history, literature. There you go. That's the reason why I want to go. That's my next trip. Over the Christmas break, I think the Christmas break I'm going to Italy, and I'm going to be going all over Italy. So those are my next two trips. I think I've got to swap things around, but I've got trips planned, so yeah. So thank you, Anna, for that question. I have a question for my friend Doc, my friend and man doctor. And he had a silly question, but I'm going to answer it anyway. If you had to travel to see someone you liked, would you hug tackle them when you first see them? Yes, absolutely. All of my friends that I've met in America, you know that I am a hugger. And I'm a polite hugger. I'll ask you first, like, can I give you a hug? And people are usually pretty nice and say, yes, come here, give me a hug. So I will hug tackle you or ask if I can hug tackle you. Yes. And I had a question over on Twitter. My friend Huffle, she asked, what are the most different things culture-wise from where you were previously versus where you are now? So obviously, I am from Canada. I'm living in the United Kingdom. Huge differences there. You drive on the opposite side of the road. Some terms are different than what you would use back at home. So, for example, the bin, instead of a garbage bag or a garbage container, it's a bin. And garbage is not garbage, it's rubbish. There's lots of others. I could go on a whole video about it, and maybe I will. So there's that. But also from different countries that I've been to. Belgium threw me in for a loop, because they speak French and Dutch there and English. But you'll see different parts of the city in Brussels where some parts are very Dutch-based. And other parts are very Dutch-based and others are very French-based. So depending on where you were, you'd either see only one of those languages in English or you'd see Dutch and English, or you'd see literally all three. And that like threw me in for a loop for quite a while, because I was like, how do you read these names? And you can even see it on the train system there as well. It's wild, and that threw me in for a big loop. But again, Belgium, chocolate, waffles, I was okay. I was okay. What other cultures have been very different? Spain's been a little different. When I went to Spain, they're very more laid back. I find that they're very patient people. So in the UK, people will cross the road as soon as there's an opportunity, and that freaks me the hell out all the time. In Spain, they are so patient. They will literally wait for the light, even when the light's yellow. They'll wait for it to go green before they even go. So they're way more patient, way more laid back, I feel. Germany, everybody's go, 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 but you get reminded of the history there on every corner you go almost. Like, you'll see signs saying, like, oh, did you know this is on this part of the Berlin Wall when it was up? And this part of Berlin is on this side. And then you get, like, little signs everywhere saying, like, oh, like, 30 people died here because of World War One or World War Two. So in Berlin, the history there is constant, and it's recognized everywhere. It's quite insane, and I actually really liked it, despite being hit with the feels anytime you read those signs. So those are the cultures that are quite different. So Germany embraces the history part, Spain's more laid back, UK is just everything's opposite. And there's different terminology compared to what we would use in Canada or the US. And of course, accents are definitely more diverse here than they are back home. Yeah, I would say that. Whether it be the dialect or the actual accent itself. Yeah. Now, this question my friend asked, Spam asked this one again as well. And he asked me about budgets. I hate. Because, budgeting for trips, how I do it. I'm going to go into video more detailed about this later. But usually what I do is I start by looking at what it costs for me to get to a place. So how much would it be for a flight to the place? Or would train be cheaper? Would ferry be cheaper? Would bus be cheaper? So bus, train, ferry, flight. And then I kind of start there, and I will kind of work my way down from public transit in the city. I'll look at what I can get for a pass or what tickets would cost. And I would maybe, let's say I want to be in that city for 3 days. Then I would write that number down. And again, that also has to do with the flight. Like, let's say I want to go to Amsterdam for 3 days, but it's cheaper to go there for 4 days, then I'll go there for 4 days. Because I just play around with the flights a little bit. And then same with like the public transit thing, and if it comes with discount cards, there's lots of cool tips I'll tell you about in a moment. Then I'll look at the accommodation. So I'll look at hostels and see like which ones I can get for a cheap price. But I don't always go for the cheapest ones. I always go for the cheapest one that has a breakfast included. So that way I don't have to worry about a meal there, and that will cut down your cost as well. So I do that, and then I look at the activities or things I want to do in the city. So museums, galleries, exhibits, whatever really that I want to do in that city, and I start tracking that cost. And then I kind of just put it all in different categories, and then I have my little total. So that's how I budget for trips. I usually, give or take, I usually add an extra 100 pounds to the trip anyway, just so that could be used for food, or in case something catches my eye and I want to go and get it or do it, then I'll do that. I never, by the way, budget for souvenirs. I'm awful that way, but I prefer the experience over a physical item that will sit on your shelf and collect dust for years. It's just my personal preference, but you might want to include that in your budget. But yeah, that's just a quick overview of how I do that, but I'll do a video breakdown of it way later for you guys, I promise. Now, how I feel about flying, this is my last part of the video, and then I'll stop. My favorite form of transportation is bus. Oddly enough, bus. Yes, it can take longer. I learned that the hard but good way in Spain, where I took a bus from Barcelona all the way down to Malaga. No, Granada. Sorry, Barcelona to Granada. And it took 13 hours. Yeah, that's a long day. And that's literally 1 day spent traveling. But if you think about it, I got to see the entire east coast of Spain for 13 hours and for like maybe 20 euros. Super cheap, and it was amazing. Yeah, by hour 10 I got sore, but I still got to see a lot of Spain. So I really liked it. And otherwise, it is flying or train. I did do a ferry once. I did the ferry from Scotland to Northern Ireland, and that was really cool. But when you get to the middle of the strait, or the middle of that little bay, it's just water. So that's not always exciting, but it is kind of cool to be like, I took a ferry from one country to another. So if you want to have that as a check off your bucket list, I recommend it. But yeah, that's it. My least favorite probably would be car. No, my least favorite might be train, actually. Train gets you there faster, but it's harder to like see things or take pictures on a train. Plus, I take the train too often, so it just doesn't even feel like an exciting thing to me anymore, living here in the UK and living in London. So the train is just like, yeah, okay, I'll take it. But if I could, and I always do this, I pick plane or bus, because it's cheaper and you get to see a lot more than you would normally see on a train or a boat. But that's my general travel experience. I love it. You learn so much about the world through traveling as well, and you get to meet a lot of interesting people, and it's just, I don't know, I love traveling, and I look forward to showing you guys more and going through more travel series and stuff like that with you guys. So there will be more, I promise. So I'm gonna cut it here, and I love you guys. Thank you for watching my first video back on the channel, and we will see what more comes out. Love you guys. Stay golden and carve it into your souls. Yeah. Bye bye.